I'm not going to say good evening. I'm going to talk to Hit Nation. I'm going to talk to the folks, folkettes, and everything in between and beyond that make up this wonderful, wonderful nation of fans that have followed this team through thick and thin, that have seen worse roster iterations, and that have seen worse seasons in theory. Tonight, we almost broke another record. We lost by 55 points. The largest loss to tied in 58-point differences. The only reason we didn't lose by 60 is only because they kind of took the foot off the pedal in the last couple of minutes. Otherwise, we would have lost by 60 plus. Considering the postseason, considering the fact that we ended up with only 37 wins, it's number one. Number two, the disastrous handling, or mishandling rather, of the Jimmy Butler situation. We can blame Jimmy Butler, but he's not a part of this organization. The ones who are a part of the organization that mishandled this need to go. Okay, so let's just start it. Today I'm going to do something that I don't usually do, which is record post game right after the game with my complete disdain and disgust for what I saw today. It's one thing to lose and to be swept in a series against the number one team, against a 64 win team versus a 37 team. It happened to the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies actually had one good game, and then after Moran went down, that's it, bye-bye. Oklahoma swept them. So it's not necessarily something that I was surprised to see, but I was really surprised to see how badly we played the last couple games at home. And I have to say this, okay? So I have a few rants today. And I know that the intensity of which these rants are going to come out is not going to be necessarily the same intensity as I had, because I already vented, I already spoke with my friends. I think we have a 50-50, either major overhaul, no one is untouchable in the group, right, when I made a poll, or only a couple of players are untouchable. For me, right now, after this game, not only no one is untouchable, I don't even want to see Hero play again with the Miami Heat unless he comes off the bench as a sixth man. He deserves to be making about 20 mil a year. Bam Adebayo peaked. And his peak is not enough. So basically, our two best players, in which a lot of fans, including myself, wanted to build a roster around. I might change my mind in the future, but right now, as I feel right now, Bam Adebayo and Hero are at best sixth, in case of Hero, seventh man off the bench. We have no team. We have no team. Even with Jimmy Butler, and even if Jimmy Butler was happy, I don't think we would have had a much, much, much better outcome, like Hero said. But yeah, a better outcome, because at least we would have one actual starter. Before this, I would say keep Davion Mitchell. I don't care about Davion Mitchell. I honestly would not mind seeing a package that includes Bam, Hero, Wiggins, Jovic, Hakis, Davion Mitchell, to get a couple of assets out of the Bucks for Giannis, for example. Fill the roster with G-Leaguers if you want. Get a couple of stars. Reset. And when I mean reset, I mean reset. I honestly think that this team should be legally taken away from the Arisons and given to somebody else. Pat Riley should be almost arrested, not just retired. He should be just forcefully taken away from the team. Spo needs to be fired. I'm going to explain the Spo needs to be fired bit, but Spo needs to go. There's not a single player there, not one, that deserves to be in this roster next year. And if I see Tyler Hero getting that extension that he wants, I don't know if I can watch this team again until Tyler Hero is not gone. Not because I don't think he's a great player. He's a great player. He's a great sixth man. But let me go to Spo. I come from a background, again, soccer, the real football, in which a coach loses 3-4 matches in sequence, streak, and they fire him. And in the NBA, sometimes they have 2-3 seasons. They fire the coaches. A lot of coaches have very uncertain positions within the organizations. But no coach is more secure than Spo. If Pat Riley didn't work enough for the Lakers and didn't work enough for the Knicks after some time that he was traded. And why is Spo protected in that situation? And I'll tell you why. This is not, keeping Spo is a bad idea. Spo can do a lot with fewer players. Maybe. I honestly don't. You're talking about hypotheticals. You don't know if another coach could have gotten to the same place with the same players. It's number one. Okay, you don't know. Number two, it's not about, I used to think it was about, okay, but there is no better coach than Spo, so who would have put in, who would have replaced him with, and I just had one suggestion from Fourth, why not Mark Malone? But anyone, right now the point is not fire Spo because Spo is a bad coach. Right now the point is fire Spo because this institution needs a complete shakeup. Tonight was so bad that I want us to be called the Fort Lauderdale Coasters. I don't even want to see Miami Heat anymore. Because we disgraced that name. We soiled that name. We soiled the logo. The logo should change. The owners. If we could trade all of the players or just pay them not to play, maybe I'll be happy. I'm not saying that this is what I want for the team. I am right now in the middle of a rant. I'm very angry. I'm very sad. This has been a horrible season, both personally and sports-wise. And it's a season to forget. No. When the Holocaust happens in any country, you never forget. I don't want to say that this is equivalent, because it's not, to a genocide. Of course not. It's a stupid comparison in a way. But what I do mean to say is that when you have an abnormally grave tragedy within the context of what we're talking about, right? But in the context of wars, that's World War II. But in the context of sports is what happened to the Miami Heat this season. When you have such a bad thing, and I know people are going to say, oh, he's comparing this to the Holocaust. Of course, I'm not. I want to say words that I can't say because I don't want to, children may be watching, etc. I'm Jewish, man. I know what the Holocaust is. I know what a Holocaust cost us. And I'm Jewish. We lost fewer people than the Russians did fighting that war. Homosexuals, gypsies, people of African descent, all of them executed in that war. There's no way to compare an atrocity of life and death to an atrocity in sports. So obviously, I am mentioning this only as a way to say the worst moments in your history are not to be forgotten. They're to be remembered, and they're to be even celebrated once a year so that we don't repeat the same mistakes of the past. That's not going to happen while we have Pat Riley at the helm. I thought it would. I thought it was inconsequential. It's not. That's not going to happen until we don't shake things up. And again, Spo could even come back to the Heat at some point. He's not going to be jobless. But I don't want to see his face in Miami for at least 5 years. I honestly don't want to see Hero and Bam in a Heat uniform anymore. And I know, call me whatever you want to call me. Call me a guy that doesn't understand basketball. I am so. So you're just basically stating facts. I don't want to see those guys play basketball for us anymore. Jovic, Hakes, Larson, Ware. Yes, in theory, a couple of those players could be salvaged. Still bench. And maybe just as fillers, because we need such a great overhaul that those who used to be before the only ones that we would maybe trade, Maybe those should be the ones that we keep. Keep Jovic, for example. He was having a better season before he got injured. Give him another chance. It's fine, no problem. JJJ hit a sophomore wall, but honestly, that's his game. I don't think he has a lot of room to improve. I wouldn't keep JJJ. Definitely keep Weir for another season. You don't know, right? He's on pace to being better than Bam in his second year than Bam has been for the past 6. On pace. I'm not saying he is right now. He's not. He's a rookie. He played very poorly in the postseason from the play-ins onward. Had maybe one good game. But still, you know, he has potential that he hasn't reached yet. Bam peaked. Bam peaked. This is what you're going to see from Bam. He may have one season that stands out better than any other season that he had before, but that's all I give him. That's my projection for Bam's career. Okay? Who do we trade for? Who do we want? Honestly, of course we need Giannis, for example. Ja Morant. Who knows? Maybe we can reform the guy. I don't care about this. Oh, he doesn't fit. There is no Heat culture without Heat. And right now, there is no Heat. Zero. There is no. That's not Heat. That's not, I don't know what this is. Nobody knows what this is. I think everybody right now is trying to rationalize a couple of things. I'm just going with my full-on rage of buy. This is not what it needs to be. As a fan, I can tell you, I'm not going to go root for another team. But I'm also going to tell you another fact. I've never been a greater fan than any other team than the Brazilian national team. Not even the Miami Heat. I don't know if I would wake up at 3 a.m. to watch Miami Heat games. Also because my age. Maybe my age contributed to that a lot. But I did used to wake up at 2, 3 a.m. to watch Brazilian games. The national Brazilian team. As soon as Neymar came into the national team, he vacuumed away, he smothered my love for the Brazilian national team to a point that until Neymar doesn't retire, I am unable to watch their games. And this is what happened this season to me. This is the taste that the season left to me. We were swept against the Bucks in a short off season, and the Bucks won the championship. We lost against the best team in the East throughout the year. Yes, I don't know if Cavs are making the final. They definitely have the potential. I am rooting right now 100% for Oklahoma City because I want the East to just wither away. The East generated a possibility of a 37-win team making the playoffs. Now, I know that a lot of people like to play in because it gives chance to what happened with us going to the final as an 8th seed. We benefited from this a lot. We benefited from it this year as well because we made the playoffs. But what is the point of the play-in, really, if this is what's going to happen? If what happened between Oklahoma and the Grizzlies or the Cavaliers and the Heat is going to happen. What's the point of it? You can see what happens with the true number 6 and 7th seeds. They're playing. Magic got one against the Celtics. They're playing. They're giving something. What is it that the Miami Heat gave the world but ridicule, embarrassment, and heartbreak to the Heat fans? It's definitely been the worst season that I've ever watched. Not the worst roster, but the worst season. So yes, to me, this team should be the Fort Lauderdale Coasters. Move away from this arena. Move away from this area. Force Mickey Harrison to sell the team to Shakira, for all I care. Definitely fire Spo. Put my mom to coach. But you have options. You have decent options out there. Okay? But get rid of coach. The organization needs a shake-up. It's not because coach is a bad Spo is a bad coach. But that's worn out. I can't continue watching the same guy coaching us after what happened this season. And after what happened, particularly these last couple of 2 games. So, definitely, I do not want to see Wiggins, Hero, Bam. I did not want to see any of those guys in the roster. Like I said, salvageable. To me, are Jovic and Weir. And that's it. And not saying that they're untouchable. I'm just saying they're salvageable. If you have a deal that would bring, I don't know, you get Weir and Jovic and you get, I don't know, the player that I hate the most in the NBA, Caruso. Get Caruso. But get these guys out of here. Honestly, like, some of them should be exiled from Miami for at least 3 years, so we don't have to see their faces by mistake, even by coincidence. This is my level of anger right now. I'm saying in 45 years, which let's say I was 7 years old, 38 years of watching sports, I have never seen such great humiliation. Never. And I watched live when the Brazilian national team, like I said, the team that I used to root for the most, lost against Germany in Brazil, 1-7. That was not even close to the humiliation that we saw this series, to the humiliation that we saw through a 10 game losing streak, to the humiliation that we saw Jimmy Butler put us through because this front office was incompetent. There's nothing in this team that's salvageable with the exception of scraps. So, of course I'm going to change my mind. This is an extreme take. Of course my mind is going to go back to loving the Miami Heat and it's going to forget about it probably in the next 2 or 3 months. But I'm serious. If Tyler Hero gets an extension, that's going to be very difficult for me to continue watching unless we are able to get a legitimate superstar to play along him. Then, whatever, give it a couple more months. But honestly, I don't want to see any of those players again with the Miami Heat jersey. I don't want to see them. I said that about Butler when we got swept against the Bucks, because I said Butler was supposed to be the one that was supposed to bring us over the hill. Well, whatever, okay? Oh, if we had Butler, we would have done better. Probably yes. Butler didn't want to stay because we were incompetent to keep him. So, and maybe that was smart in terms of having cap space. But, what if we keep Jimmy and we make the first round more interesting, and then Pat Riley, in all his wisdom and experience, decides to run this back? How many of you, this is one thing that I want to call to every Heat fan out there: do not buy one official merchandise from the Heat. Don't buy a ticket. Cancel your FanDuel subscription. Don't give them money at all. As much as possible, as a unified front, we can do that until we don't see drastic changes. Changes that result in better seasons. We did great in 2020 by going to the finals in the bubble and got to games. That was our peak. When we played against the Nuggets, we still got one game, but there was no competition there. This series was the most embarrassing series and couple games that I've ever watched in my entire life. I normally say stay safe. Well, I'll still say that because you guys stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy as possible, and in this very complicated world of ours. But I cannot root right now, say let's go Heat. No. Buy Heat. Never have I seen a team that least deserves a playoff spot in the Miami Heat. I don't regret that we made the playoffs. I don't regret it. Great. We made the playoffs. But what the performance that we put, even if we were swept, but the performance that we put this game specifically, but also last game, that made me, I can't, right now, I don't know if I obviously watched the playoffs, etc., but right now, I cannot even say the word of this organization. I can't. And I love it. I'm always going to love it, but I can't say the name of this organization. Stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy as possible. It's a very complicated world of ours. I'm going to try to sleep. Probably I will because of the pressure.